Good morning, students of class 5. Students, I'm sure all of you are happy and healthy. Students, please take out your English notebook and your Wordsworth English Reader book as I'll be continuing with Lesson 9, The Priceless Slippers. Students, please take out your English notebook and your Wordsworth English Reader book. Turn the book to page number 87 as I'll be continuing with lesson 9, the priceless slippers. Students, in my last video, I had completed the explanation of this chapter. Now today, first of all, I'm going to read this lesson once again for you so that you can easily understand the exercises which I'm going to start of comprehension. So please listen to me carefully as I read this lesson. Lesson 9, The Priceless Slippers, page number 87. In a little village, there lived a poor man who was so tired of being poor that his sole aim in life was to become rich and have a lot of money. In his desperation, he had tried many means of making money, but he didn't get any satisfactory results. Then one day, someone told him of a great Sufi saint, Hazrat Nizamuddin Aulia, who lived in Delhi. The poor man was told that the saint was a very kind man with extremely wealthy followers. Surely he will give me enough money to start a new business and then I will be a rich man, thought the villager to himself. The very next day, he set off for Delhi, where the Sufi stayed. He had to walk all the way as he could not afford to travel on a horseback. Tired and hungry, the poor man arrived at the home of the saint at last. The Sufi greeted him kindly, and one of his followers guided him to where he could wash himself and brought him food to eat. After taking some rest, the villager told the Sufi the purpose of his visit. Why is it so important for you to have money? The Sufi asked. The villager recounted his woes. I don't have enough money to even eat or clothe myself. If I have a lot of money, I will never have to worry about these things. I will be happy. You are welcome to stay here for as long as you want. You will never be hungry here and will always be decently attired, the Sufi assured him. But the villager was adamant. He wanted money. For him, that was the only solution to his problems. He wanted to continue living in his village, start a business, and live in a comfortable house. The Sufi asked him, why did you come to me? I'm not a rich man, but there are many rich men in Delhi from whom you may go and ask for money. The man said that he had thought of that, but knew from experience that the rich were never eager to part with their wealth. I had heard that you never turn your back on anyone, so I came to you. The Sufi slowly nodded his head but said nothing. He remained busy the rest of the day. There were prayers to be said, visitors to be met, and students to be taught. He continued his normal routine. The villagers waited patiently for the Sufi to summon him and give him money or ask one of his wealthy friends to give him some. 2 days passed and he was getting impatient. On the third morning, he realized that his trip to Delhi was not going to bear fruit, and it was time for him to leave for the village. He had been taken care of very well. He had not been hungry, nor had he slept so comfortably in a long time, but money was not given to him. Feeling disappointed, he went to say farewell to the Sufi. Are you leaving? But I can't let you go empty handed. The villagers' hopes were raised. The Sufi took off his worn out slippers and gave them to the villager, saying, You have a long and dusty journey ahead of you. These slippers may be useful. I only own what I wear, so I will give you these with my blessings. The villager was shocked, but did not show his surprise as he respected the saint and did not want to insult him. The world talks of Hazrat Nizamuddin Aulia, but in reality he is as poor as me, thought the villager to himself. He then left Delhi with the pair of slippers in his bundles. He was afraid that the people of his village would laugh at him when they would see or hear the gift that the saint had given him. As the villager was walking in the hot sun, he saw a great cloud of dust coming towards him. As he watched, he saw a magnificent horse galloping towards him. An equally magnificent rider was seated on the horse. The horse and the horseman drew nearer and stopped in front of the villager. The striking horseman got off the horse and pointing to the bundle said, You lucky man, are you coming from the great saint with a priceless gift? The poor man stammered that it was indeed a gift that the saint had given him, but it was far from priceless. He wondered aloud how the stranger knew that the villager had been to meet the saint. I recognize the sweet fragrance of my lord from the bundle that you carry. He introduced himself as Amir Khusro. The villager showed him the pair of slippers, and to his surprise, Amir Khusro picked them up reverently and held them to his head. Be kind and give me these slippers for a bag of gold that I have earned for 6 months of work for the emperor. You can also have my horse and my robes. The villager was astounded, but he readily agreed to part with the slippers for the unequal amount. Both men were delighted with their exchange. Each thought that he had gained the greatest treasure. Amir Khusro left for Delhi and the poor villager returned a rich man. Never again in his life did he have to worry about his food or clothing, and he lived happily. Needless to say, he became a devout follower of the Sufi, whose humility he could never forget. Later, the poor villager came to know that Amir Khusro was a great musician and poet as well as the most famous disciple of Hazrat Nizamuddin Aulia. He wrote in Persian, Arabic and Hindi. He is considered to be the inventor of the tabla and the Hindi language. He was buried near the tomb of Hazrat Nizamuddin Aulia in Delhi. So students, this was the reading of the lesson, and now I am going to start with exercise A of comprehension. Now, Comprehension. Exercise A. Complete the following sentences. The first one. Now, on the basis of the reading of the story, we need to fill in the blanks, that is, complete the sentences. The first one is Hazrat Nizamuddin Aulia lived in dash. Now the first one, Hazrat Nizamuddin Aulia. Where did he live? Now, in this lesson, we have read that there was a poor villager who was very poor, and his sole aim in life was to become rich. He just wanted to have money, so that with that money, he could start a business and the rest of the life he could spend comfortably. And he had tried lot of ways, but he couldn't earn any money, and he was so poor that he couldn't even afford clothes and food for himself. So one day he heard from someone about Hazrat Nizamuddin Aulia, a Sufi saint. And he also heard that the Sufi, he never returns anyone. He always fulfills the wishes. So the poor villager, he thought that when he'll go to meet the Sufi will give him money, and with that money he can earn a lot of, he can start a new business, earn money and lead the rest of his life comfortably. So he knew from someone informed him that Hazrat Nizamuddin Aulia lived in which place? In Delhi. So the villager, he started his journey on foot to Delhi. So where did Hazrat Nizamuddin Aulia live? He lived in Delhi. Please write Delhi in the first blank. Hazrat Nizamuddin Aulia, he lived in Delhi. Fine. Hazrat Nizamuddin Aulia, he lived in Delhi. I hope all of you have written. Now, the second one. The villager went to see the Sufi because. Now, why did the villager he go to see the Sufi? वो सूफी से मिलने क्यों गए थे? Because he had heard that the Sufi, he never returns anyone, है ना? And he was a very kind man, and he thought that when he'll go to meet the Sufi will give him money, and with that money he can start a new business, and with that business he can earn a lot of money, and then he can lead his life comfortably, and he'll never have to worry about food and clothes. So in the second blank, what we will write? Because he thought, है ना? उसने ऐसा सोचा था विलेजर ने. He thought that the Sufi saint was a kind man and would give him enough money to start a new business. Now, these are the lines which you need to write to complete the sentence. Children, please write. The villager went to see the Sufi because he thought, who thought? The villager thought that the Sufi saint was a kind man and would give him enough money to start a new business. The villager went to see the Sufi because he thought that the Sufi saint was a kind man and would give him enough money to start a new business. Please ensure that you write capital S for Sufi and the spelling of business correctly. That is BUSINESS. Again, I am repeating the first one. Hazrat Nizamuddin Aulia lived in Delhi. Delhi's D will be capital, children, as Delhi is a proper noun, name of a places. So whenever you write any name of the places, please ensure that you write with a capital letter. Fine. So D of Delhi will be capital in the first plan. Hazrat Nizamuddin Aulia lived in Delhi. Then the second one. The villager went to see the Sufi because he thought that the Sufi saint was a kind man and would give him enough money to start a new business. Students, you all have to do these exercises in your English notebook. Fine? And please draw this line with a pencil. This you'll write with the blue pen, this you'll write with the black pen, and you'll underline them with a pencil and a scale. Please use a scale so that your work looks neat. Fine? बेटा इसको आपको जो सेंटेंस है उसको ब्लू पेन से लिखना है और जो ब्लैंक के वर्ड्स है that you need to write with black pen. Please use a black gel pen or an ink pen. Fine? No ball pens. So the villager went to see the Sufi because he thought that the Sufi saint was a kind man and would give him enough money to start a new business. I hope, students, all of you have written. So now I'm going to erase and write the third one. Now the third one. The villager didn't go to any rich man Because now, why the villager, he didn't go to any other rich man? Look, when the villager, he went to the Sufi's place in Delhi after having some rest, after freshening up, he told the Sufi the purpose of his visit, that he came for the Sufi for some help. The Sufi would give him some money, and with that money he could start a new business and live comfortably. Then the Sufi, he told him that the Sufi is not a rich man. And the Sufi asked him that why didn't you go to other people? There are many rich people who live in Delhi. You should have gone to them. They would have surely given you money. So what was the villager's reply? The villager, he said that with his experience, he knew, villager का जो experience, उसका जो अनुभव था, उससे उसको पता था that the rich, they were never eager to part with their wealth. जो rich है वो अपनी wealth, जो अपना money है ना, वो कभी भी उससे अलग नहीं हो सकते. They don't share their wealth with anyone. तो ये villager का experience था कि जो rich people हैं वो कभी भी अपने wealth से part नहीं हो सकते. They cannot be, they don't donate or share anything to the poor. Fine. They were never eager to part with their wealth because the rich because the rich were never eager. वो अपनी इच्छा से कभी भी अपनी जो वेल्थ है किसी को नहीं देते थे. Part with their wealth. The villager didn't go to any rich man because the rich were never eager to part with their wealth. To part मतलब बेटा कि उससे अलग होना, है ना. कोई भी अच्छा सामान होता है तो हम कभी भी नहीं चाहते कि वो हमारा सामान हमसे दूर जाए, है ना. तो हमसे अलग होने को क्या बोलते हैं? To part with. Fine. So the villager didn't go to any rich man because the rich were never eager to part with their wealth. To part with, to give their, अपना कोई भी सामान किसी दूसरे को देने को क्या बोलते हैं? To part with. So the villager didn't go to any rich man because the rich were never eager to part with their wealth. जो rich लोग थे वो अपनी wealth, अपना रुपया पैसा दौलत, उससे वो अलग नहीं हो सकते थे. वो किसी से भी share नहीं करते थे. So I hope students, all of you have written. Again I'm repeating, this exercise has to be done in your English notebook. Fine? So I hope all of you have written this. Now I'm going to erase this and write the fourth one. The villager thought that the people laugh at him because. Now, the villager thought that the people of his village would laugh at him. Villager thought कि उसके गांव के जो लोग हैं जब वो लौट के उनके पास जाएगा तो they would laugh at him because when he went to the Sufi to say goodbye, है ना, when he went to the Sufi to bid farewell to the Sufi and inform him that now he was returning back to his village. So that time, as a return gift, as a token of blessing, what did the Sufi give him? The Sufi gave him he took out his worn out slippers saying that he only owned what he wore. सूफी ने क्या बोला कि मेरा वही है जो मैं पहनता हूं, उसके अलावा मेरे पास कुछ नहीं है. और ये कहते हुए he took out his worn out slippers and gave the poor villager with his blessings, saying that he had to cover a long distance, a long dusty road ahead, and these slippers may be useful for him. So the villager, when with those slippers in his bundle, he was walking down back to his village. That time he was thinking that when he'll go back to his village, the people of the village will make fun of him. They will laugh at him when they'll come to know that the Sufi had given him his worn out slippers as a return gift. So, because the Sufi saint had given his worn out, मतलब यूज की हुई घिसी पिटी चप्पलें, worn out slippers as a gift to him. Yes. So the villager thought that the people of his village would laugh at him because the Sufi saint had given his worn out slippers as a gift to him. उसको लगा कि जब वो वापस जाएगा लोग पूछेंगे कि तुम सूफी से मिल के आए, तुम्हें क्या मिला. जब वो बताएगा कि सूफी ने अपनी जो वर्न आउट स्लिपर्स, घिसी हुई पुरानी चप्पलें मुझे दी हैं, तो ये सोच के जो गांव के लोग हैं वो उसका मजाक बनाएंगे और उस पर हंसेंगे. बट व्हाट हैपेंड इन द एंड, है ना, दिस ग्रेट डिसाइपल अमीर खुसरो, he met the villager on his way back to the village and he offered him a bag of gold, his magnificent horse and robes in exchange of the pair of slippers of the Sufi. So, the villager thought that the people of his village would laugh at him because the Sufi saint had given his worn out slippers as a gift to him. So, students, with this we have finished exercise A, that is complete the following sentences. And students, please complete this exercise in your English notebook. And I'm sure all of you must have written the word meaning and the meaning of phrases in your notebook. And from a new page, please start exercise A and complete this exercise in your English notebook because there is very little space given in your book to write these sentences. Fine. So that's all for today, students. But please do read this lesson. Thank you, students. Have a good day ahead.